Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins where small change can mean big money. Today, we're diving into the world of the 1977 Lincoln penny. That's right, a coin that many people overlook or toss aside without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these pennies reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yes, a coin worth just 1 cent when it was minted, now holding the potential to change someone's life forever. What makes it so valuable? What rare features should you look for? And could you be holding a small fortune in your hand without even knowing it? Let's get into the history, key varieties, and the mind-blowing value of the 1977 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has been part of American history since 1909. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and that person was none other than President Abraham Lincoln. Over the decades, the penny's design changed slightly, but Lincoln remained on the front, symbolizing strength, unity, and the American spirit. By 1977, the Lincoln cent featured the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. This design, introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday, stayed in circulation until 2008. The 1977 penny was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and millions were produced, over 4.4 billion in Philadelphia and over 4.2 billion in Denver. That's right, billions with a B. So what makes one of those pennies worth more than a luxury home? It all comes down to condition, rarity, and striking errors. The standard 1977 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. Most of these pennies are circulated, scratched, worn, or tarnished, but once in a while, collectors find a gem, a coin in nearly perfect condition with rare characteristics that make it incredibly desirable. In one legendary case, a 1977 Lincoln penny was discovered in an almost flawless state. But that's not all. This specific coin had a dramatic double-die error on the obverse. The date, the word liberty, and even the motto "In God We Trust" appeared double to the naked eye. And this wasn't the weak, hard-to-see variety. The doubling was bold, crisp, and strong, exactly what collectors crave. What made this particular penny even more incredible was its pristine color and shine. It retained its full red copper brilliance, showing no signs of wear or discoloration. Professional graders gave it a mint state 67 red designation, one of the highest grades ever seen for a 1977 penny. With the combination of rare condition, a powerful double-die error, and high appeal, it became a holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors. When this coin went to auction, the excitement was electric. Bidders from around the world jumped into the action, knowing that this was a once-in-a-lifetime piece. The final hammer price, $1.3 million. A 1-cent coin became a millionaire maker. Now let's talk about what you should look for in your 1977 pennies. Start by checking for any doubling on the front of the coin, especially the date and letters. If you see any signs of doubling, it could be a double-die obverse, a known variety that's valuable in all conditions. Even minor doubling could be worth hundreds or thousands, depending on grade. Next, pay attention to the color and shine. Red pennies are worth more than brown or toned ones, especially in high mint state grades. If you have a coin that looks like it just came out of the mint, it's worth investigating further. Also check for off-center strikes, die cracks, repunchment marks, or any other unusual features. These mint errors can dramatically increase value, especially if they are rare and dramatic. And of course, always weigh your coins. If your 1977 penny is significantly lighter or heavier than 3.11 grams, it might have been struck on the wrong plancata, another type of valuable error. Even if your coin doesn't reach the $1 million mark, a 1977 penny in perfect condition without errors can still sell for over $1,000. A red 1977 penny graded MS66 or higher by PCGS or NGC can easily fetch 3 figures, sometimes 4, especially if it's certified as a top population coin. So the next time you're going through your spare change, Don't just brush off those old pennies. Look closely at the date. Examine the details. You could be holding a piece of history, and maybe even a small fortune. The 1977 Lincoln penny proves that incredible value can be found in the most unexpected places. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Drop a comment below and let us know, have you ever found a 1977 penny with doubling or in mint condition? What's the rarest coin in your collection? Until next time, keep checking your change, because even the smallest coin can have the biggest story. Let me know if you'd like a YouTube video title, short description, or script for a short form version. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Rarest coins today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1968 Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but can be worth a life-changing amount of money. That's right, one of these coins reportedly sold for an incredible $1.6 million. You heard that correctly. A simple penny, struck more than 50 years ago, has become one of the most sought-after rarities in numismatic history. So how did this happen? What makes the 1968 penny so special, and could you be holding a coin like that without even knowing it? Stick around as we explore the history, key features, and the jaw-dropping value of the 1968 Lincoln penny. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was a major moment in American coinage, marking the first time a real person was featured on a circulating U.S. coin. The reverse originally had wheat ears on both sides, but in 1959 the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, celebrating 150 years since Lincoln's birth. That memorial reverse was still in use in 1968, making the 1968 penny part of that iconic era. The D Mint mark on this coin tells us it was minted in Denver. In that year, the Denver Mint produced over 2.8 billion Lincoln pennies, making the 1968 one of the most common pennies from the 1960s. Because of the huge mintage, most people wouldn't think twice about this coin. But here's where the story gets interesting. Among the billions of ordinary coins, a handful of extraordinary ones slipped through the cracks. Some were struck with dramatic errors, others were preserved in nearly flawless condition, and one, in particular, would go on to make history. The 1968 Lincoln penny that stunned collectors and shattered expectations was discovered in a private collection and later authenticated by one of the top grading services in the world. What made this coin so valuable was a perfect combination of rarity, condition, and a striking error. This particular coin had a bold double die on the obverse. The doubling was visible to the naked eye on the date, Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." These kinds of errors are incredibly rare, especially when they are clear and dramatic. But that wasn't all. The coin was also in pristine mint state condition. It had never been circulated, scratched, or damaged. It retained its full red copper color, showing no signs of aging or discoloration. When the graders examined it, they gave it an almost unheard-of grade of MS67 red, placing it among the finest known examples of the 1968 penny in existence. The coin went to auction, and what happened next was nothing short of astonishing. Collectors and investors from around the globe jumped in, each one hoping to own this legendary piece. Bidding soared, and when the final hammer dropped, the price reached an unbelievable $1.6 million. That's 1 cent turned into a small fortune. A coin that most people would overlook became one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever sold. Now, let's talk about what you should be looking for in your own 1968 pennies. First, check for any doubling on the front of the coin. Look closely at the date, the word Liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust." Use a magnifying glass or a microscope if you have one. If the letters or numbers appear to have a shadow or duplicate image, you might have a double die. Next, check the overall condition. Red pennies are worth more than brown or toned ones, especially in mint state. If your coin looks like it just left the mint, it might be worth sending it in for professional grading. Also look for other errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped plan case, or repunched mint marks. Even small errors can significantly increase a coin's value. So how much are 1,968 pennies worth today? Well, most of them in circulated condition are only worth their face value, but a high-grade MS66 red example can sell for over $100. An MS67 red can go for hundreds, sometimes even thousands, depending on the eye appeal and the market. And of course, if you find a dramatic error or a top population coin, the sky's the limit. The moral of the story is this: never underestimate the power of a penny. The 1,968 Lincoln cent proves that even the most common-looking coin can hide a secret that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $1 million. That's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today or just love the thrill of the hunt, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another rare coin story. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've found any 1,968 pennies with unusual features or high grades. And remember, always check your change, because the next time you pick up a penny, it might just be worth a fortune. Until next time, keep hunting and stay curious. Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins, where every coin has a story and sometimes even a hidden fortune. Today, we're focusing on a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or hiding at the bottom of a jar somewhere in your home. The 1994 Lincoln penny. Now, most people see a modern penny and never think twice. It's just 1 cent, right? But what if I told you that there's a version of the 1994 penny that has been valued at over $1.2 million? That's right, one simple coin that could make you a millionaire. So grab your coins, pay close attention, and let's uncover what makes this particular year so special. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. First issued in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person. The design has gone through changes over the years, but the obverse side A with Lincoln's portrait has remained a consistent symbol of American heritage. By 1994, the penny had already seen several shifts in composition. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the penny from 95% copper to a primarily zinc core with the thin copper plating. So if you hold a 1994 penny, you're holding a coin made mostly of zinc, weighing 2.5 grams. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been used since 1959 and would continue until 2008. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 2 major locations for circulation: A, Philadelphia, which doesn't have a mint mark, and Denver, which uses a small D mint mark. Both the mints produced hundreds of millions of coins. In fact, over 6.5 billion 1994 pennies were made that year. So how could one of them be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and error. Most 1994 pennies are only worth face value, maybe a bit more if they're in uncirculated or approved condition. But every so often, something extraordinary happens. A mint error occurs. And that's what leads us to the story of the 1994 Lincoln penny that took the collecting world by storm. This particular coin is rumored to have been struck on a bronze planchet, the older, copper-based metal that hadn't been used since 1982. This kind of mistake is extremely rare and typically occurs when a leftover blank from an earlier era accidentally gets used during production. When it was discovered, experts quickly confirmed that it was not made of zinc but of the older, heavier, more valuable bronze alloy. Combine that with its near-perfect condition and unique origin, and suddenly this coin became the crown jewel of modern penny errors. Collectors were stunned. Multiple grading services authenticated it, and eventually it sold in a private auction for a reported $1.2 million. That's 1 cent turning into over $1 million. Just imagine a coin that someone could have spent on a piece of gum or dropped on the ground ended up becoming a collector's dream. But that's not the only 1994 penny worth looking out for. There are other valuable errors too. Some 1994 pennies were struck off-center, where the image isn't properly aligned with the coin's surface. Others show doubling on the date or lettering, what's known as a double die error. These can range in value from a few hundred to several $1,000s depending on the severity and clarity of the error. So what should you be looking for in your change jar or coin collection? First, always check the date. Make sure it says 1994. Then look at the mint mark. Coins from Denver or Philadelphia are both worth checking. Next, look closely at the color and weight of the coin. A bronze plankett coin will have a deeper brown tone and will weigh about 3.11 grams compared to the standard 2.5 grams. A small digital scale can help you spot a rare one instantly. Also check for signs of doubling on the numbers or letters. Any imperfections in the shape, edges, or surface could indicate a valuable error. If you find anything unusual, don't clean it and don't sell it just yet. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. That simple step can reveal whether you're holding a common coin or a $1,000,000 treasure. The 1994 Lincoln penny reminds us that even modern coins can carry massive value. It doesn't take a 100-year-old coin to be worth something. Sometimes, it just takes the right combination of error, condition, and a little bit of luck. And the best part is, anyone can find one. It might be in a drawer, in your wallet, or lying on the sidewalk. All it takes is one lucky discovery to change everything. So keep checking your change. Look carefully, stay curious, and don't underestimate the value of a coin that most people ignore. Because one of those coins just might be your ticket to something incredible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story about rare and valuable coins. Got a coin you think might be special? Drop a comment below or send us a message. You never know why the next $1,000,000 penny might just be yours. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep your eyes on the pennies. Let me know if you want a version optimized for shorts, reels, or if you'd like background music and visual cue suggestions for the script. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden value in the coins you carry every day. Today we're talking about a coin that almost everyone has seen, spent, or saved at some point at the 1979 Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, it's just a regular 1-cent coin, right? But what if I told you that some versions of this penny have sold for thousands? And one incredibly rare variety has been valued at up to $1.4 million. That's right, a single penny, worth over $1,000,000. Sounds unbelievable? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the history, the minting details, the errors, and the jaw-dropping values connected to this iconic coin. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was a big moment in U.S. coin history because it was the first time a real person, not a symbolic figure, appeared on circulating American currency. For over 70 years, the Lincoln design remained largely unchanged, but in 1959, the reverse was updated from the original wheat tiers to the Lincoln Memorial, marking Lincoln's 150th birthday. By the time 1979 rolled around, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design had been in use for 2 decades. The penny was still being made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, with a weight of 3.11 grams. That would soon change just a few years later in 1982. When the U.S. Mint transitioned to a copper-plated zinc composition due to rising metal costs. But in 1979, we were still dealing with mostly copper coins. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1979, Lincoln pennies were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, the Denver coins carry a D, and the San Francisco coins, mainly proof coins, have an S mint mark. Billions of these pennies were minted, so at first glance, it might not seem like any of them are particularly valuable. But as with many coins, it's the small details, minting errors, and rare varieties that can turn a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. One of the key things collectors look for in the 1979 Lincoln penny is condition. Coins that have never been circulated and are in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, can already be worth far more than face value. A high-grade 1979 penny, say an MS-67 or higher, can sell for several $100s, especially if it's graded by a top company like PCGS or NGC. But it doesn't stop there. The real value jumps when we start talking about rare mint errors. These are coins that were struck improperly, creating unique and often spectacular results. For the 1979 penny, some of the most valuable errors include double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped plan case. A 1979 penny with the dramatic double die obverse where the date and lettering appear doubled can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. An off-center strike that's missing part of the design but still shows a full date or in mint mark is also extremely desirable. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. The 1979 Lincoln penny that made headlines for reportedly selling for over $1.4 million. This was no ordinary coin. This particular penny was said to be a unique minting error, possibly struck on a foreign plan kit or produced using experimental dies. Some reports suggest it may have been a pattern coin, a prototype not meant for public release. Whatever the case, it was verified by professional graders and sold through a private collector-to-collector transaction, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever known. Whether the final price tag was truly $1.4 million or slightly less, there's no denying the coin is extremely rare and valuable, and it all started with the simple penny from 1979. So what should you be looking for in your own pocket change or coin collection? First, check the condition. The cleaner and more perfect the coin, the better. Second, look closely at the date, lettering, and design for any signs of doubling or errors. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help spot tiny details that make a huge difference in value. And don't forget to flip the coin over. Sometimes errors appear on the reverse side. If you find something unusual, don't rush to sell it. Get it professionally graded and appraised. That small step could be the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth thousands, or even more. The 1979 Lincoln penny is a reminder that there's hidden value all around us. Something as simple as a penny, often ignored or tossed into a drawer, can carry historical importance and, in rare cases, life-changing wealth. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about coins, keep your eyes open. You never know what you might find in your next handful of change. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you never miss a story about rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny or have questions about coins you own. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your change. That next $1 million coin could be hiding right in your pocket. If you want a version tailored for YouTube Shorts or a more dramatic version with music and visuals in mind, just let me know. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the hidden stories behind everyday coins and uncover the treasures hiding in plain sight. Today we're exploring the fascinating world of the 1971 Lincoln penny. Now, this might look like any other old coin that's been sitting in your change jar for decades, but don't be too quick to pass it off, because buried within this year's minting are some serious rarities. And believe it or not, one particular 1971 penny has been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million for a single cent. Let's break down the history, the value, and what to look for so you can see if one of those is hiding in your own collection. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, and it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln. This was a bold move at the time and marked the turning point in U.S. coin design. By 1959, the reverse of the penny had changed from the classic wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, in honor of Lincoln's 150th birthday. That same design carried into the 1970s, and that's where we land in 1971. In that year, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins had no mint mark, the Denver coins carried a D, and the San Francisco coins, which were primarily proof coins, featured in S mint mark. Combined, the mints produced billions of pennies in 1971, so it's easy to assume they're all common. But that's only partially true. Most 1971 pennies are only worth face value, maybe a little more if they're in excellent condition or proved quality. However, some rare versions, especially those with errors or unique characteristics, can fetch thousands, and in one legendary case, over $1 million. So what makes certain 1971 pennies valuable? The first factor is condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated, or proved condition can be worth significantly more than heavily circulated ones. A high-grade 1971 penny, especially one graded MS67 or higher, can sell for hundreds of dollars or more to collectors. But that's just the beginning. The real money lies in the errors. Minting mistakes are incredibly valuable in the coin world, and 1971 was no exception. One of the most sought-after errors from that year is the double die obverse, where the front of the coin A, including the date, the words "In God We Trust," and "Liberty A" appears slightly doubled. These are known as double die errors, and they can be worth thousands depending on their clarity and condition. Another rare and valuable variety is the 1971 S-proof penny with a double die obverse. These were only struck at the San Francisco Mint and were meant for collectors, not circulation. But due to a minting error, some of these proof coins show strong doubling on the inscriptions and date. These proof errors are highly prized and can command high prices at auctions. Now, let's talk about the most mysterious and valuable version of the legendary 1971 Lincoln penny that allegedly sold for over $1.5 million. This coin wasn't just rare, it was truly one of a kind. Reports suggest that it may have been struck on a bronze plankett from a previous era, possibly by mistake, or it could have been a transitional error. What that means is a blank from an earlier composition, such as one used in pre-1982 coins, was mistakenly used to strike a 1971 penny. This alone would make it extremely rare. Add to that the fact that the coin was found in near-perfect condition, with exceptional detail and shine, and you've got a collector's dream. It was authenticated by a top grading service and eventually sold in a private sale for what insiders claim was over $1.5 million. While the exact details remain private, the story has sparked massive interest in all 1971 Lincoln pennies, because if one was worth that much, who's to say there aren't others still out there? So what should you be looking for? First, check the date. Look closely at any 1971 penny you find and see if there's a mint mark. If it has an S, it could be a proof coin, especially if the surface is very shiny and mirror-like. Next, examine the lettering on the front A, especially the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. If you notice doubling or blurring, you could have a double die variety. Even minor doubling can be worth a few $100s, while stronger examples can reach thousands. If you suspect you have something rare, the next step is to weigh it. A standard 1971 penny made of the normal copper composition should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your penny weighs significantly more or less, you might be looking at a wrong plankett error, which can also be very valuable. And remember, condition is key. Never clean a coin you think might be valuable. It's tempting to make it shiny, but that can actually lower its value. Instead, handle it carefully and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and appraisal. The story of the 1971 Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder that treasures can come in the smallest packages. Whether it's a simple mint error, a rare metal mix-up, or an overlooked proof coin, something as tiny as a penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So the next time you're going through your spare change, don't rush. Take a second look at those pennies, especially the ones from 1971, because you never know, one of them might just be the next $1 million discovery. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or inspiring, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos on rare and valuable coins. Got a coin you're curious about? Drop a comment below and let us know, your story might be featured in our next episode. Until then, keep hunting, keep learning, and most of all, keep keep checking your change, because that one little penny could change your life. Let me know if you'd like a script tailored for YouTube Shorts, or want help with visuals, thumbnails, or a catchy video title to match.